I'm going to do something on this channel today that I have never done before, and that is I would like to make a personal request. If you are a teacher or an onlooker out there, it doesn't matter who you are, and you practice prayer in your daily life, I would like you to take a moment after watching this video to say a prayer for our country, a prayer for teachers, a prayer for schools, students, and just our country in general, because there's been a lot going on that has divided our country recently. And also, this is just something that is weighing on me. I woke up this morning and I was scrolling through Facebook and saw a news article about a shooting or school related shootings. And I've never talked about school shootings on this channel. The reason is because it's not pleasant. It's always very it's just sad. It's sad. And I like to, for the most part, talk about news stories that are kind of goofy, crazy, or informative, things of that nature. And I don't like to get, down because we could get all down, on these kinds of things all the time because stuff is always happening. But like I said, I woke up this morning and I saw this, and today is actually Sunday, so I'm pre-recording this video for Monday. But this just hit me a certain way. And I just started to think about schools and school violence and a lot of the stuff that I've seen this year, especially now that I cover the news. And it really just kind of upset me and just made me a little melancholy and sad. And, I went to church, and during the service, I said, I know exactly what I want to talk about today when I get in front of the camera because, you know, it's a really school shootings and the body count and just me being a teacher and being at school and feeling like that same kind of danger is something that I might face in the future. It's really it's kind of upsetting. And so I want to take a look at this article that I found and the article that got me thinking about this. This article says 9 killed in separate shootings as Mississippi schools celebrate homecoming. 6 people died in the downtown area of the small town of Leland to the state's west, and a pregnant woman was among the dead in a shooting on the east side of the state, officials said. This was published on October 11th, 2025, which was yesterday. School homecoming celebrations in Mississippi ended in gunfire with separate shootings on opposite sides of the state Friday and Saturday night that left at least 9 people dead and many more injured, authorities said. 6 were killed in downtown Leland after a high school football homecoming game in the Mississippi Delta region on the state's western edge, according to the county coroner. South of Leland, one person died in a shooting at Alcorn State University. State authorities said on the east side of the state, a pregnant woman was among the dead, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves said. And in another article that gives a little bit more clarification on that, 6 dead in shooting after Mississippi homecoming game. And this says the small town of Leland, Mississippi was rocked Friday night by a mass shooting at a homecoming event that left 6 people dead. An event like this has never happened in the city, the mayor said. We're a close knit city, we're not a violent city. The shooting took place in downtown Leland after the local high school's homecoming football game. The gathering takes place annually. Families in town visiting get together and just have family fun. As well as the 4 who died on the scene, 2 died later at a hospital, according to a later statement from Washington County Coroner LaQuisha Watkins. Some 20 people were injured in the gunfire after people gathered in the downtown area following the game, Mississippi State Senator Derek Simmons said. Of those, 4 were in critical condition and were flown from a hospital in nearby Greenville to a larger medical center in the state capital. Jackson Simmons told the Associated Press. So, as I said, school shootings, and this isn't, this wasn't making, when I got into Google News and I was looking at the news, this wasn't something that made headlines, that was on the first page. Presumably, I'm guessing because it didn't take place during school hours. This took place after a football event, in one case. And but I had to search it up and do a little research to figure out how is this school related. But and what it comes down to is it's homecoming night. People are supposed to be having fun, celebrating, and you have something like this happen. It's disappointing to hear about this sort of thing, and sad. So my condolences go out to those people, the unfortunate individuals who lost their lives, as well as their families and friends, and everyone is mourning their losses. And like I said, just reading about this morning, it was saddening, and it weighed on me like no other school shooting event has happened in the past, because you see a lot of it. And I felt like I wanted to say something about it, and so that's why I'm here and why I'm making this video. Because and like I said, I don't like to talk about this because I do believe in you know the right to bear arms. So I'm on that side of things, and there are a lot of people out there who are saying that, well, people shouldn't own guns and that sort of thing. But and everyone has a right to that opinion. And I don't know if that's the solution, to just take weapons away like that. I don't think that that's the solution, but I think that something should be done. There needs to be maybe higher restrictions or something like that to make it more difficult for teenagers and individuals who should not be in possession of weapons, deadly weapons, to have them. I don't know what the solution is. The answer is I don't know what kind of compromise needs to be reached. But at this point, I do think that something should change. Maybe security needs to be increased. I really don't know. The people talk about metal detectors and things like that. I don't know, but I hope that something does change. And as I was just doing some research on this, I wanted to see. I said, man, I feel like I've heard a lot about school shootings this year, and I wanted to just kind of find the statistics on that, just to stay informed, and that's something that I want to point out here. So I found this website here. It's K12 ssdb.org, K through 12 school shooting database. How many school shootings, all incidents from 1996 to the present. And there is a graph here, or a chart, so you can see from 1996 up to 2025. Now 2025 is not over, but you can see here that currently there are fewer school shootings this year than last year, and last year had fewer than the year before, and not by much, not by much. But since 2020, you can see that there has been a spike, a major increase in the number of school shootings, more than doubled. I believe this is 2020. The numbers are small, but more than doubled, um, and it has gotten out of hand. It has gotten out of hand, and that's why, despite my belief that people should have the right to bear arms, like I think that something needs to change. Something should be done, and as I said, some people have talked about increased security measures, metal detectors at schools, things like that, because it's sad. It's a tragedy every single time, and I guess that I'm starting to realize just how pressing this is, how dangerous it can be, and how sad it is that this kind of thing just keeps on happening. So that's all I really have to say today. And despite, yes, I talked about the news, but really, as I said in the very beginning, the reason I wanted to make this video is a call to action to all of you out there who practice prayer. I have a personal request, and I would like you to, if you have the time, to pray for schools, pray for our nation, pray for the students, pray for teachers, pray for everyone involved, because we're in a very divided point in history, and these kinds of things. We just had the Charlie Kirk thing that went down, and then now this. We're inundated with just tragic news. It seems like on a daily, weekly basis, um, and I just hope for things to turn around. And I don't have any solutions. When I don't have a solution in mind and I feel powerless, things are out of my control. My reaction and my instinct is to pray about it and hope that a solution does come, that God does provide something and can set us back on the right track and help us find the answers. So that is my request for you today. Thank you for watching this video. Remember that if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, get this message out to as many people as possible. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for you in this video, and I will see you in the next one.